Very good morning to all of you. This session is going to cover the essentials of time management. We are going to talk about meeting etiquettes, and then we'll conclude with business code of conduct. So the key with time management, we all know that we all have the same 24 hours a day. It's all about how we prioritize, how we assign tasks, put in proper sequencing to it, and then work on a planned methodology by which our time can be effectively used for the task that we are planning to do. So let's touch upon some key aspects about how you would do it methodically. The first important thing is goals and priorities. It's very essential that we outline each day what our goals and what our priorities are, ideally in a written form, and then put action items against that. So once that is done, clearly mark out what task needs to be done first. So set up prioritization, and then larger projects, what we need to do is to break them into small subtasks, smaller modules, and then assign a timeline against each one of them to see how realistically we can meet our goals and objectives in the planned time frame. So we have this inherent tendency to be a little indisciplined. Clutter, we can see, would be all around us. Clutter in the workspace can be very distracting, and clutter actually puts in constraints where if you want information with some specific timelines in mind, you would end up a lot of time wasting and searching for that information. So now that we have tasks, we have put a list, we have put some prioritize, and we also ensured that there isn't clutter around for us to waste our time and effort. Often there is this tendency to take in too many tasks at a time. That could be very counterproductive. It is sometimes desirable and essential that we slow down, we think, we understand what tasks are really critical, and then focus on that first before we take up the other tasks. So now there are some other important aspects that must be considered. It is very likely that you alone cannot do all the tasks. So as you grow in the organization, take up more leadership roles, naturally the expectation would become a lot larger on you. And even with all the structuring methodology, it is impossible to execute all the tasks yourself. So delegation is a critical aspect of that. Make sure that you have the right team and support structure in place where tasks could be delegated and you play the supervisory or monitoring role, bringing together all of those within the defined timeline so that work can be executed as planned. How much ever planning we do, the unexpected will always be there. There could be a team member who would fall sick. There could be customer expectations or vendor related dependencies that you would have planned to get it in a certain time frame, but it would never arrive. So those are normal, those are accepted part of the planning process. So what is essential is that some amount of flexible time is built into your schedule so that overall as the plan progresses and as you start executing, these unexpected detriments do not bring in delays in your deliverables, and it still meets the expectation from the customer end. So look at the big picture, in the larger project scope, as we touched upon it earlier. We have to have a larger project plan, and in that project plan break them down into smaller modules, sub-functions. Micromanaging really never helps. So as we said, delegate, ensure that you have the right set of team structure, team members who can take over a large part of your responsibility. Collectively, we can all bring together our skills and competencies so that the customer expectation would be delivered as planned. So let's put in a little bit of humor how Dilbert manages his time. This cartoon snippet talks about the boss asked Dilbert to come for a meeting at 8 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, and Dilbert has prioritized his schedule so that 8 a.m. in the morning is when he does the most interesting and critical task, and me team obviously does not fall into that part of his priority. So to recap this short session on time management, we all have the same 24 hours. It's up to us to make use of it effectively. And the broad tips, as has been mentioned earlier, create a good, nice priority list. If there is a large project, break them into sub-modules. Ensure that all the tasks are not taken by you. If you're managing a large project, ensure that there are people in the team to whom work can be delegated. Proper planning done on that. Put in a little bit of buffer time so that all the unexpected, unplanned contingencies are taken care. And if there is a piece of work or portion of work that cannot be done, be firm and say a firm no. It's better to say that rather than accept the work and not be able to deliver it. Thank you. I hope this session would allow you to prioritize your tasks and make you an effective planner when you're planning your project schedules.